Could the roots of today's housing crisis and tax inequality in America be traced back to a pivotal moment in history? A moment that has set the stage for the disparities we see today? The answer, as we'll see, is a resounding yes. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Tax Series from Pars Financials. I am your host, Arash Shahriari, an IRS enrolled agent, and in this short video, I will be explaining how one preposterous event in America's past, combined with our capital gain tax code, have caused the housing crisis, income inequality we are in today, and further allows a class of rich Americans to have an innumerable advantage over the working class when it comes to paying their fair share of social tax contributions. In order to understand this unfair tragedy that has caused our current economic situation and the housing crisis, we need to look at some of the events that happened not too long ago in America's short history, which easily allowed new Americans of only 2 or 3 generations ago to gain an insane wealth advantage over the rest of future to-be immigrants. In year 1862, U.S. Congress enacted the Homestead Act, which allowed anyone to literally get for free 160 acres of land by simply making some improvements on the land and paying a nominal registration fee. A similar act was enacted in Canada in 1868 under the Free Grants and Homestead Act. Folks, to put that number into perspective, a land area required for a typical single-family house in America is 1/4 of an acre. This means a person who just happened to be lucky enough to land in America between 1862 and 1976 had enough space to build 640 single-family homes. Today, the national average price of a house in America is roughly $390,000. So just like that, an average Joe of 2 to 3 generations ago was able to be worth $250 million of today's money. This is tragedy in my opinion, and the reason for where we get the housing crisis we are facing today. To make matters worse, the current tax code allows the heir of that farmer, Joe, to sell that land in a snap of finger without paying a dime in taxes. You ask how? Let me explain to you how. The rules for capital gain essentially tax someone on the gain from the sale of a property. For example, if you bought an antique book for $10 2 years ago and you sell it today for $20, which is its current fair market value, you had a profit of $10 on which you have to pay capital gain tax. Now, here is where things take a turn. If you hold on to that book until your death, the person that inherits your wealth, like your son or daughter, they get a step-up treatment to fair market value, meaning the valuation of that book is no longer the $10 but $20, so when they sell the book, they have no gain to begin with and pay 0 tax. So this is how Joe Jr., who inherited the $250 million today, can sell it without paying a dime in taxes. Joe Jr. gets to live a life that a worker can't dream of, even if he were to work 300 years without giving a penny away. And if you think these transactions are small, think again, because 60% of capital gain transactions come inheritance. To make matters worse, Congress in 1909 enacted enlarged Homestead Act, which doubled the land given to 320 acres of land. This trend only got finally eliminated in the United States in 1976, while it continued in Alaska until 1986. Essentially, these acts created a super rich bourgeoisie class of Americans, while the new generation has to struggle perpetually for paying rent. There's an easy solution to this. All we have to is to change the step-up basis for sale of real estate to the very initial basis. I hope you found this video helpful. My goal is to educate people and play an active role by running for office to make large-scale changes for the benefit of the most people in America.